That's what you signed up for. Otherwise, you'd be out there working for somebody else, doing your own thing. You wanted this. This is exciting. This is something that you've dreamed of, and it's something that you can do. Hi, my name's Devin. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way. I only know the hard way. Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast, where I give straightforward advice to fuel the entrepreneur in all of us. I'm Devin Dickinson. Today I want to talk to you about a concept that someone who works for me actually taught me. She is a great coach. She's a wonderful member of one of our teams. And we were having a discussion this week, and she knows I also coach. And so we always have lots of conversations. And she said, hey, you know what, Devin? She said, someone taught me this. I'm going to teach you it. I think it's an important lesson. And I was like, cool. What is it? And she said, players win games, coaches lose games. And I kind of sat back in my seat and thought about it for a second. And I was like, I absolutely agree with that. I think that is so true. And the reason I'm talking about sports is I'm actually in season right now. So, probably a lot of these podcasts will have some sports overtones to it. But I was thinking about various games that I've lost over the years as a coach, and almost without a doubt, and I'm not talking about like blowouts and stuff where it's just like way overmatched or anything like that. But I'm talking about like games that you go in and you could either win or you lose. And unfortunately you lose. And almost every single one of those games, I can go back and I can think of things that as a coach, I could have done differently that would have controlled the outcome of that game, and we might have won. And I've thought about the games that we have won, and sure, I've done stuff in those games and everything, but really those victories have been on the players because the players go out there and they do their job. But at the end of the day, like the big decisions of the game, they fall on me. They fall on the coach. And I think that's such a picture of life. And if you're right now a business owner, you're right now someone who's out there, pursuing their dreams, and you're quote unquote losing, we have this desire to look around within the organization or the situation and find blame. Because I think that's what coaches will do. Like they'll be like, you know what? My center back, he just isn't getting the job done. And that's why we're losing games. Right. And we want to do that probably as a coach, but we do that in life. Right. And so you say, oh, you know what? My marketing team sucks. That's my problem. Or, you know what? Think about it. You know what? Man, if it was 2010 again, man, and interest rates were, what they were, well, holy cow, wow, we'd be doing good. Or, the economy just isn't what it used to be, or the competition, or all of these different things that we want to blame, right? So as a coach wants to blame the defense. A coach wants to blame the offense, the goalie, whatever it is. The coach wants to blame the goalie. And really, at the end of the day, the person who has the most control is the coach. And in your business, you have the most control. And so if you're losing, this is on you. And I tell you this not to discourage you, but to encourage you to action, right? Because just like every day, if you're coaching, you're given 20 players, you get to decide where they go on the field. You get to decide how you train them, right? You get to decide how you encourage them, how you discipline, what formation you're going to run, what your strategy is. That is the exact same thing that you get to do in business. And right now, if it's, you're losing, let's just pretend that it's halftime. Let's pretend that it's halftime in your business, and you get to go into the locker room, get out that whiteboard, and draw up your formation and figure out what changes you need to make. And I'm not talking about what people you need to get rid of. That might be something, but I'm talking about what changes you need to make, right? You control. You're not a victim of the environment. You're not a victim of the competition. You're not a victim of your employees. You're the leader of all of this, and you get to make the choices and choose. And it doesn't mean you have to be perfect, right? I'm not trying to put weird pressure on you because you can go out and something not work. Well, guess what? You're still empowered to make a change, right? And you get to figure out what isn't working. And a lot of times what we want to say is what isn't working is Jim's not working and Jim's my problem. Well, that may be, but let's be honest. You hired Jim. You trained Jim. You put Jim in that job. You're managing Jim. You should be monitoring Jim's KPIs. What are you doing to help Jim? Right? What are you doing in your organization to change the outcome so that you go from losing to winning? Because you control that, right? So with Jim, hey, maybe it is a training issue. Maybe you need to go back and retrain Jim. Maybe Jim doesn't understand the job. Maybe Jim's in the wrong position. Maybe Jim has a bad attitude and needs to go, but it's still on you. You're the leader because, like I said, players win games, but you as a coach lose the game. And I'm empowering you. I'm not discouraging you. I'm empowering you to let go, to be free of the victim mentality and understand that you get to have you control the outcome of the game. Because guess what? The clock's not ticking, right? The game doesn't end today, right? The game ends when you say it ends, right? So you have a chance to change it. You have a chance to change that outcome. And this should be encouraging to you. You may say, yeah, but Devin, the competition is different than it used to be. Okay, are you telling me that you can't do business anymore? Well, then shut the doors and go do something else. You're not a victim. Nobody's making you stay there, but I bet you're right. Maybe the competition has changed. Maybe the market conditions are different. Maybe everything's different, but what strategy are you going to do to combat that rather than sitting on your hands and saying, well, I guess we're going to lose, right? That's not okay. Right? You have to decide what you're going to do today to change that outcome. And that's what great coaches do. That's what great leaders do. And I want to encourage you and I want to empower you to let you know this isn't weird pressure. This is encouragement. Right? This is encouragement for you to go out there and look at your business through a whole new lens, right? You're not going to look at your business now and say, oh, it's the market, it's this, that, or the other. You're going to look at the business and say, this is incredible. This is the opportunity that I have. What do I get to change today to be better tomorrow? Because just like coaching, you don't get to, pick. There's not 20 Messis on my team, right? There's 20 high school kids that give their best every day that are like clay that I get to mold into the best player that they could possibly be. And that's exciting. And that's how you get to treat your company, your opportunity. You get to every day mold your company. You get to every day work on it, improve it, train it, redo it, scrap it, start over, whatever needs to be done. That's the exciting part. And like I said, even if you look at it and go, this is no longer worth doing, you're not a victim. You can literally shut the doors on that and start something new. Because you do have the capacity to win. So I'm here to empower you today to make the changes that you need to as the coach. It's super exciting. Go out there and win. And when you do win, make sure that you give everyone else all of the praise because they have been the ones that have been on the front lines and won that game for you. And if you're losing, guess what? You get to make those changes, and that's exciting. Remember, that's what you signed up for, right? That's what you signed up for. Otherwise, you'd be out there working for somebody else, doing your own thing. You wanted this. This is exciting. This is something that you've dreamed of, and it's something that you can do. I'm Devin, and this is the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast.